In His goodness, dear listener, we are still here, and our existence is always proof that we are still necessary in the plans of God. And let's jump into our morning reflection this wonderful Friday, dear listener. And I'm talking about something very, very silly, very, very common, very, very strange, but also very, very important. It's something that happens in many families, and I see it happening a lot nowadays. And I thought, maybe it'd be good just talk about this and just bring a bit of light in it. It's something of a bit of light humor this wonderful day, but at times also it's in those light humor things that our families are built and our families are broken. I've always said that it's the small things that we miss. Small things that we miss is what actually ends up leading us to a place of maybe divorce or separation. It's the small things that break families, not the big things. It's the small things you missed. And I've had people saying that I didn't see this one coming, or I didn't hear my spouse going this direction, or I never thought that they would respond like this. And you wonder, when did all this happen, dear listener? Well, this is what I'm going to talk about: the statements that show your relationship might be over. Statements that might show your relationship might be over. I said this is also for some light humor. You might have heard it before. You might have your partner say it before, your friend said it before, maybe you said it before, but these are statements. When you begin to hear them, it may show that your relationship is actually coming to an end. Because at times in relationship, people break up without even saying the word that it is over. I'll say that again. At times in relationships, people break up without even saying it is over. They might instead use words that indicate the relationship has come to an end. And every so often, people fail to see these particular signs or words, which normally end the relationship emotionally and eventually a physical divorce. This happens so often. I found people in my office where someone says, actually, I had begun living this far back. You began to discuss, you find that there are things they began to say, but the partner did not get them. So very quickly, dear listener, as you can continue, just listen to us. And if there's anyone you have which you've ever had in your life, you can share with us. I begin the first one. The first one, dear listener, is when you hear the statements of self-love. When you hear your wife or your husband saying, but it's time for self-love, I'm on some hashtag self-love, you're in trouble. Because when you hear your partner mentioning these words, it's that it's time for self-love, or trying to indicate things about self-love, it's an indication that your partner has come to the realization that they will not find the love they need from you and have therefore decided to emotionally lock you out. When you hear your partner mentioning words that it's time for self-love, ni saa ya kujipenda, and you're in a marriage, you're in a relationship, my dear friend, the river has begun flowing towards the ocean. You have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting. And your partner realizes that the love I need, I will not get from you. Number two, dear listener, when you hear someone saying, when you hear words in your relationship like positive emotions only, positive emotions only, this means, dear listener, this means that there is no space, or maybe you hear someone saying no space for negative emotions. When you have these two statements, dear listener, it means that your partner emotionally is fatigued in dealing with the drama you bring in the relationship. They are tired of your drama. They are tired of your whining, your complaining. They are tired. And they have no space to accommodate you again. The only space they have is for themselves, because they have realized that they are drowning in your presence. You are killing them with your negativity. You are killing them with the drama, and they are tired. So when you hear your partner saying, no space for negative people, I have no time for negative people, or no space for negative emotions, that is an indication that they're emotionally tired, and they are tired of your drama, and they want to look for a new hobby, and it's not being around you. Number three, when you hear your partner saying words like, I have never felt this free. I have never felt this free. This is a statement that is said mainly after separation. Mainly after separation. This when a couple go through a fight, then one of them moves out of the house. And then when the one moves out of the house says that, I have never felt this free before. It's an indication that your partner's road to reconciliation is very long. Hataki kurudi. It means that the relationship was so stressful, they felt like they were in a cage. And finally, they feel that they can be more peaceful and they can live their lives. So it is easier for your partner to choose to stay away, because being alone and being peaceful is more important to them than now being with you. When you hear your partner saying, I have never felt this free, and they have separated from you, realize that that relationship is actually potentially over, because it means that the relationship was a prison to them. They never felt free. They never lived. They never enjoyed life in your presence. You are always overbearing to them. Number 4, my personal favorite before I go on this break, that relationships are overrated. Ama ingine nilisikia juzi, marriages are overrated. This one is the most subtle yet powerful indication that your marriage or relationship is on its knees, because it means that your partner has stopped believing in the dream they had about marriage. Your partner was thinking that marriage is so good, marriage will work like this, but at some point akafika karealize, huko penye nafikiria, marriage is not that way. Relationships are not that way. This means that they are already picturing themselves without you. They imagine themselves without you. They have reconciled that not all marriages work. They have reconciled that not all relationships work. When your partner says that relationships are overrated or marriage is overrated, inamaanisha, my dear friends, that they're already seeing themselves without you. They have come to a place in their lives when they have looked at the relationship they have with you and they have realized, dear listener, it just is not the dream they thought. They think they were naive and they'll never want to go down that road again. That's a sign, dear listener, that the relationship is going down the road. Again, I said I'm talking about very simple things that we miss out and we get shocked when our partners leave us. Very simple statements, dear listener, that maybe you've heard before or you've said them before and someone did not get them. After this break, dear listener, I'll finish with the remaining 3. Stay tuned as we continue with this morning reflection. I'm talking about simple statements, dear listener. If you have said them before, if you have heard them before, also talk to us, let us know, dear listener. At times, I've seen many couples in my office who are surprised because one of them wants to walk away, and you find that they never even had the one of them saying something, or I've had situations where someone has left and gone, the children left the country, and someone says, I didn't see it coming. But you look back, you realize that a statement was said, it's time for this, and marriage is overrated once it was mentioned, and they never saw it coming. And this will be available on my Facebook page, Victor Salamba, during the course of this day. Number 5, dear listener, happiness is personal. Happiness is personal. When you hear someone saying that, or a statement like, never compromise your happiness, and they're in a marriage, in a relationship, this is a statement of frustration from a partner who has realized that the assumption they had that being in a relationship with you would make them happy, but they have realized it is impossible. They have had enough days and nights of crying about the relationship, about the marriage, and now they are fighting for their own happiness independent of you. In translation is that this person has come to a place where they have realized that they used to think that you would make them happy. They used to think that marriage would make them happy. They used to think that the relationship will make them happy. Wakafika mahali with you, they realize something, that this will never happen, that they are crying more, they are very sad, they are very bitter, and they came made a decision wakasema, happiness is personal. When your partner says that, it means that they no longer look to you for satisfaction, they no longer look to you for happiness. They are a place where they have realized that they'd rather do it by themselves. Number 6, dear listener, when you hear someone saying, I'm tired of living for others. I am tired of living for others. This is opposite to what marriage is about. Because in marriage, dear listener, you're putting yourself on the line for your partner. In parenting, it's the same way. When you hear a partner saying, I'm tired of living for others, this simply means that your partner has come to a point when they no longer put you or the relationship as a matter of priority in their life anymore. Why is it so? Because they have done it, and they have found no reward whatsoever. And I've seen this happening in marriages so often, where you find that one partner is coming back to the marriage when the other one is now leaving. Because the one who's leaving alichoka. They tried everything, they pushed, they tried everything. At some point they realized, no, I've been sacrificing myself for my partner for so long. Now I am tired of this sacrifice. I am tired of trying to be, of putting them first. Now I'm putting myself first. When you hear your partner saying that, my friend, understand this, that the river is flowing to the ocean and you cannot stop it. Number 7 is I can do whatever I want. This is other times you can hear a statement in Swahili, watu wafanya vitu zao. When a married couple is using such statements like I can do whatever I want, it means that they have come to a place where they want to have their actions without accountability. It means the accountability part of the relationship, dear listener, is dead. There is no more accountability. Imeenda. Meaning that they no longer care what you do. When you hear a partner saying, I can do whatever I want, translation is, I don't care what you do. If you want to have an affair, have it. If you want to go out, go out. If you want to come at 6 in the morning, come at 6 in the morning. I don't care. Don't ask me. I will not ask you. We are living in the jungle now. When you hear that, dear listener, indicate that relationship is done and your partner wants to move on. They're in that relationship just because of logistics. Logistics too, but apart from that, dear listener, they are not there. Number 8, dear listener. This one is a very delicate statement, but I'll say it either way. When someone says that Jesus is my spouse, I'm saying it's a delicate statement, but don't misunderstand me. Because it's a statement that is a strong spiritual statement, and I believe it is a good statement. But many a times, there are people who will say this because they have come to a place where they have realized that the marriage is dead and they are no longer concerned about that marriage. They no longer want to continue trying, but they would rather get lost in religion. They would rather get lost in Christ. I said it's a dangerous statement, but when you hear your partner saying, Jesus is my spouse, in Amanisha, they have come to a place where they have come to the understanding that being with you is not helping them at all. Being with you will not help their cause to go to heaven. You are not adding any value to their life, and they would rather get lost in religion. They would rather disappear in prayer groups and prayers and church and reading the Bible. They would rather go there. They are safer there. Many times those who say this, they never leave the marriage. Physically, they never leave. They won't have an affair. They will not cheat. They won't go out of the marriage. But dear listener, what will happen is this, is that their emotions, every part of the emotions will be poured into their faith. They will have no change left for you. That's why I'm saying it's a statement that if you hear your partner saying, it means the marriage will no longer satisfy them. Whatever they need, the marriage will not give them, and they have understood the marriage will not give them, and they would rather, they feel safer getting lost in prayer and in church. Dear listener, when you hear that statement, dear listener, understand these 8 statements, understand that the relationship is coming to an end. Remember, dear listener, very important point is that there are many other statements, of course, people can be able to say. But all in all, I'm saying that it is good, dear listener, to understand when your partner says a statement that the ones I've mentioned, the 8 I've mentioned, find out where they're coming from. Investigate, know where they're coming from. Why is my partner saying that Jesus is my spouse and I'm sitting right here? Why is my partner saying it's time for self-love and I'm the one who's supposed to be loving them? What is happening? Understand the genesis. Where are they coming from? This will help you either to save whatever is left or, dear listener, not to be caught surprised. Is Waumini Soul Food, and I'm Victor Salamba.